long rain season, there are those counties where they receive rain during the long rain season. We have other counties which receive in short rain season. So we only target now the counties that were for long rain season, and we started in phases. The first phase was for around 12 counties, where Narok was one of them now. The county in question was to get fertilizer during that long rain season. So we also requested data for 12 counties in February 2023 from KALRO. This data was sent to the Head ICT in the Ministry of Agriculture, who was myself at that time. And then once we received that data from KALRO, I used to submit, the Head ICT submit it to the Safaricom. Send it to Safaricom. For uploading to the fertilizer subsidy system now. For uploading to the fertilizer subsidy system. So when this one is done, when the farmer registration data is uploaded on the fertilizer subsidy system, what happens is the system will check all the farmers registered, it will check the acreage and the crop that the farmer is growing. So the system will check the particulars of the farmer, identify the farmer, then it will check. Yes. Yeah, acreage and the crop grown. To check those two. Then, depending on the acreage, it will be able to determine the amount of fertilizer that the farmer qualifies. The system would automatically determine the number, the quantity of fertilizer that the farmer qualifies. And Your Honor, this was based on it was based on 2 bags per acre for planting fertilizer, and the 2 bags per acre for top dressing fertilizer.
2 bags per acre for planting?
And the 2 bags per acre for top dressing. That is 4 bags in total. Yes. So once that one is done, the system, after determining that, it will send what we used to call it an e-voucher, which is an SMS, a text message. An e-voucher text message to the farmer mobile phone. It will send an e-voucher text message to the farmer's mobile phone, notifying the farmer he has been allocated the following quantity of bags or the quantity of fertilizer. It will notify him, allocating him the fertilizer he qualifies, depending on the computation now I have already explained. Then once it sends that message to him, it will also take in and advise the farmer, visit the nearest national cereal board. National cereal board to access your fertilizer. National cereals and the produce board. To visit the nearest national cereals and the produce board to access the fertilizer. And give him 30 days. There was a 30 days notice. Before that days are over, from the date he received that message. So the farmer would plan now to visit the cereal board if he is interested to go and collect the fertilizer. If the farmer is interested, he will visit any cereal board that is near to him. And once he does that, he will go there, he will show the message he received to the attendant, to the staff of the cereal board. You tell him I want fertilizer and this is what I received on my phone. So now what would happen, the serial board person will get also into the fertilizer subsidy system. They knew how to use the system. They will log in there, and then they will capture two things in that system.
Prosecution.
Yeah.
You're being too fast.
Oh, too fast, sorry.
Okay, so after the farmer got the text message,
Yeah, after the farmer gets the text message, he visits the serial board. Then he shows the message. Then the serial board person would capture two things in that system from that message. One is the ID number of the farmer, and then the phone number. The ID number and the phone number. You will capture those two things. That's the phone number with the message. You'll capture that phone number and the ID number in the system to authenticate the genuineness and the correctness of this message, which the farmer has come. So when he captures those two, the system would show the serial board, yeah, this farmer is called Rodgers. He has been allocated this amount of fertilizer. It will show the serial board person those two things, then identity of the farmer, and also the quantity of fertilizer he has been allocated. Yeah, when that one happens now, you'll ask him, do you want to buy all the fertilizer or you want to buy what amount of fertilizer? Depending on the ability of the farmer. If he says, I want to buy all the fertilizer or whichever amount, then depending on the amount the farmer said he will buy, the system will show the amount he's supposed to pay. The system will show this is the amount now you are supposed to pay. And you must have that amount of money in your M-Pesa because the payment was done through M-Pesa. You must have that amount of money in your M-Pesa. So you'll ask him, do you have that amount of money in your M-Pesa? Then if the farmer says, yes, I have the amount of money, I have that money in the M-Pesa, the serial board will trigger now payment just to trigger the PIN, M-Pesa PIN. The system was configured only to request the farmer to put the M-Pesa PIN. So you will trigger him that payment, and then the farmer would be asked to put M-Pesa PIN only. So the farmer would put the M-Pesa PIN, and the system will deduct the amount he's supposed to pay. So that is what is happening after. If the farmer pays, now you'll be issued with the fertilizer and it goes on. The farmer will be issued with the fertilizer and it goes on. That was the process of the fertilizer subsidy. And the owner would just mention, during the registration in the entire country, we were able to register around 3.2 million farmers in the entire country. 3.2 million farmers. And the vouchers were sent to all these farmers in the long run, as in phases. So the 3.2 million farmers were able to receive vouchers. But out of the 3.2 million farmers, only around 500,000 farmers went to collect fertilizer. Only 500,000 farmers at that time were able to go and collect the fertilizer. meaning 2.7 million, balance of 2.7 million, though they had the vouchers, but it was on the basis. They did not go and collect. Though they had the vouchers, they didn't go and collect. For their own reasons, either some had bought fertilizer from the agrovet, others they didn't bother to go and buy, or others even did not maybe grow, farm. Because the registration was done before the farming, some of them maybe did not even farm. So that's why you see that difference. It was on a need basis. So that's all I can state, Your Honor, for now. That was the process.
That's all for the.
In your statement, the one dated, I suppose the first one you recorded,
Yeah,
6th November 2023.
correct.
Kindly confirm that in that statement, you have not mentioned the accused person anywhere.
Yeah, Your Honor, I don't know the accused. I've never met
Just
him.
answer the questions. We will go slowly.
I have never mentioned him.
You didn't mention.
Correct.
Okay. And majorly, you come to this court to at least give us the process and I mean the duties that you are undertaking
Yeah,
at the Ministry of Agriculture by then
exactly.
in regard to the fertilizer program.
Correct.
Now, you've also informed this court that the organization that was in charge of collecting the data from the chiefs was the one called
KALRO.
KALRO, Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization. That's true?
Yeah, correct. That's why the data used to be sent by the chiefs.
Okay. Now, because you are assisting the investigating agencies to unravel the truth
Yeah.
in regard to what had happened. Did you have an opportunity to look at the primary data in regard to the accused person from KALRO?
Yeah, Your Honor, a good question. I want to clarify that. I have mentioned that in December, January, registration was undertaken for KALRO, up to February.
Maybe if I assist you,
Yeah.
in regard to the
Yeah.
accused person, did you get the primary data in regard to the accused person from KALRO?
No, I didn't.
The accused person?
No, I didn't.
Now, at any point during that exercise of getting the farmers' data from the field, as it were,
Yeah.
was there a possibility of this information or this data being captured from the head office, from your office in Nairobi?
Yeah, that's what I want to explain when you ask that question. Your Honor, what happened after the expiry of the mass registration in February? There were so many farmers who had been left out in the registration. The government realized that there are so many farmers who had been left out in the registration, and they were allowed to go and visit the chief. Yeah. Yeah. 2023. Sorry, I'm mentioning the year.
So you are confirming that in some instances.
I've not finished.
No, I'm the one guiding this.
Oh.
I'm the one guiding the question.
But Your Honor, I wish to object. That's the question the witness will be allowed to answer.
But there's a question you asked which I was answering.
Your Honor, I think I should be allowed to conduct the.
And the one who was interrupted
Yeah.
because he was actually saying something. To explain your mass registration in February 2023 is something else.
You asked whether we were capturing at the head office, and that's what I was answering.
Yes, there were instances.
Yeah, that's what I was answering now. How it happened. And at what time?
Okay.
That's what I'm answering. And under what condition was it happening?
Okay.
Yeah, there were instances, and how it was happening is after the closure of the mass registration, the government realized that, the ministry realized that there were so many farmers who had been left out. And they would go to the cereal board and ask for fertilizer. Then they would be told they were not registered. So government, the ministry, gave instruction that the registration could now continue on need basis, And they go to the chief and fill this form. And that form would be sent to the Minister of Agriculture now, not to KALRO,
Straight to the Minister of Agriculture.
head office as you asked.
And then now,
Then it will go directly to the fertilizer subsidy system. It will be uploaded to the fertilizer subsidy system for that particular farmer only. Then you will get the voucher as I had explained.
okay.
Yes. And that one happened during the short rains of July
Okay. Now,
2023.
okay. Now, in your further statement, remember there is another statement which you recorded.
Yeah.
I think it's on the same day. Is it on the same day? Or there are different days?
Different days I should have been.
There are different days.
Yeah, different days.
Although in here it is indicated it's on the same day. So you confirmed there were different days.
Yeah, I attended.
Oh,
I went for different sessions.
Okay. Now, in that statement, there is a gentleman called Edwin Oseko.
Yeah.
Who is Edwin Oseko?
Edwin Oseko was the fertilizer expert in the ministry. He was a staff
Fertilizer expert.
in the ministry.
When you say expert, what do you mean?
He was not an ST person. He was in the Department of Fertilizer.
Okay.
He is the one who could know which fertilizer is suitable for which area, which crop uses which fertilizer.
What was his position in the ministry?
And he was a principal agricultural officer.
Principal agricultural officer.
Yes, in charge of fertilizer. Principal agricultural officer.
In that statement, you've indicated that he asked you to register a certain farmer in the program.
Yeah,
Okay?
correct.
This was when?
Yeah, this was for different. This is not for the subject we are talking about.
This one. Let us deal with this one.
This one was he was called the. This man was in court.
Can I jog your memory?
I can't remember the name. Yeah.
Benjamin.
Eh? Benjamin Kuto, yes. Was a different person.
Was a different person.
Yeah, not the farmer.
It was not related to the current case.
It is not. It was a different. Kuto was another farmer with a different, also in court with a different case.
Okay. Do you remember registering this Benjamin Kuto?
No, that time I had already left the ministry when Oseko was asking me. I had already left to the ministry.
So you did.
And I direct him to the person he can talk to.
But you did indicate that in your statement.
I did what I said. I did not register him.
You did indicate in your statement.
What?
That information that you directed Oseko
Yes.
to another office
Yes.
to be assisted in registering this particular farm.
Yes, the person he knew the head of ICT who took over from
I'm
me.
saying you didn't indicate that information in your statement.
Yes. But he knew in my absence there is an head of ICT who came.
Okay.
Yes.
Kindly confirm to this court that Mr. Oseko, okay, where is he? Where is Mr. Oseko currently? Do you know whether he's still at the ministry?
Yeah, I know Oseko is also involved in this case. He was one of the accused.
Okay. Or he was charged
He was charged. He was charged in court.
in court?
Yes.
In regard to?
Not to Rodgers, in regard to the farmer you have talked about.
This Benjamin?
Yes, good.
Okay. On the issue surrounding the fertilizer?
Definitely, it was fertilizer.
Okay. So, does he still work at the ministry?
Yeah, he's still staff of the ministry, but still in court. He suspended.
He was suspended.
Because the court is in progress.
Okay. The court case is ongoing.
Yes.
Okay. Now you informed this court that when the farmers are at the point where they're collecting the fertilizer, after receiving the text
voucher.
messages, the
Yeah.
vouchers, they have to go to the
Zero board.
serial board with that message,
Yes.
of course now with the form,
Exactly.
and show it
To the zero board
the
person.
staff. Okay. Kindly confirm to this court that it is not possible for you to be given fertilizer without this information, especially the voucher and the number, the phone number. Is
Correct.
it possible?
It is not.
It is not possible.
It can't happen.
Now, you are shown the form, that form.
Yes.
When you are recording your statement, had you come across this particular form?
For this farmer,
Yes.
I did not record any statement regarding Rodgers.
So you saw this form for the first time this morning?
Yeah, I've seen it now.
That is
MFI 1, Your Honor. Now, as I conclude, when you are training the chiefs to undertake this exercise, was it a requirement for the chief to visit the farm, the respective farms owned by the farmers who are to be onboarded on the program?
Your Honor, why this registration was taken to the chiefs is because there are people close to the farmers. At the head office would not know them. So we relied on them, whichever means they will use. Okay. Either they know the farmer personally or they need to go and verify. It was upon them to know. But the information given to the firm was final, and we relied on the farmer because he knew the farmer. Okay. On the chief because he knew the farmer.
Okay. And then there was there a requirement that a farmer must produce ownership documents of his or her land?
No, it was not in the farm. It is not. It was in the form. It was not a requirement.
And then you mentioned a very critical issue, that these vouchers were only eligible for 30 days.
Yes.
They expired after 30 days.
Yes.
Now, in a case whereby a farmer has failed to collect the fertilizer within the 30 days, and maybe comes on the 31st or 32nd day, what would happen ordinarily?
Now, what used to happen is, after the last days expire, the ministry was prerogative to extend. We used to extend the vouchers as long as the ministry wants. It used to happen, even could extend even for 3 months. Okay. Depending on the way they have accessed it. When we were used to analyze the data and see how many farmers have accessed so far, and because of the financial difficulties, the ministry made that let's extend it with another month, and we'll do that.
You know that is all. Thank you.
Okay.
Which form was used by the chief to start the farmers' details?
It is this one.
That is MFI 1.
Yeah, this is the form.
Confirm it's MFI 1.
Exactly.
You had seen the forms before, the manual forms.
Yeah, I knew them. But this particular one I had not seen.
Okay. But you know the format?
Yeah, this is the form.
This is the form.
Yeah, this is the form.
That is all for the witness. That is the only witness we had for